प्रतिनिधित्व भएर यस्तो प्रतिष्ठित संस्थानहरू हाम्रो इन्भेस्टमेन्ट बोर्ड र एफएनसीसीआई दुवैमा हजुरले प्रतिनिधित्व गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ, त्यसमा हजुरले लैङ्गिक समानताको लागि चुनौतीहरू के देख्नु भएको थियो? हजुरले अहिलेसम्म आफ्नो जीवनकालमा अनुभवमा लैङ्गिक समानताको जुन चुनौतीहरू देख्नु भएको छ त्यसमा केही भूमिकाहरू कसरी निर्वाह गर्नुभयो, हजुरको अनुभव कस्तो रह्यो, केही अलिकति लाइट सेड गरिदिनुहोस् न।
I think thank you so much UN Women for inviting me in this platform and very happy to share my experiences also. I think Nepal is a patriarchal culture, so definitely there are discrimination in every, I think, sector where we work. Though like lot of discriminatory laws has been changed, because a lot of NGOs were working and all. But still I feel the mindset of people, it's still the same. I mean, it's very slowly, very gradually changing. So like being in that position as a president of the Federation of Nepalese Industry was not very easy. It was a very, very challenging, I think, to reach there. Not in investment board, because investment board is a nominated position, so you could nominate a woman from the private sector. But I think reaching that leadership position was very, very tough. And then there was a lot of, glass ceilings, but I think women has to keep on breaking it, So I think my experience, if I share, I was elected as a member first in that federation. So being elected as a member, and it's an elected position. So like I was contesting for the member. So out of like many members, you are just one woman, So that time it was not very difficult, So because of my background, because I was working with women issues like in women rights in Sati organization, and of course Federation of Women Entrepreneurs Association. I was a past president of that. So. And working, of course, with the partner organization, and also they said, okay, if we bring one woman, maybe it'll add, to that. The board, So FNCCI is always a male-dominated institution. It's been 51 years. After 51 years, only like a female could go as a even in the board. Every time in the board, they used to nominate. A woman from the Federation of Women Entrepreneurs Association. So before, like first I was nominated, and then I just went because they recommend, and one woman goes out of 75 men in the board, So our voice is not heard and all. So we talk about the economic development and issues, and then the policies. But women policies, women issues were not much priority. It was not given much priority. So being elected as a member was not very difficult, as I mentioned. So when I used to go to ask for a vote, everyone would say, oh, one woman out of 75 men, of course, definitely will give you a, chance, So I think I got elected, and I got the highest vote that time, because as a member, it was not very difficult. It was easy. But as you, go up, alikati siri chadai gaepacha, it's very, very difficult, Then I think the challenges starts. Like after the member, you go as a vice president, then senior vice president, then the president. And then you have to fight one-to-one. So that's the time I think there was a lot of challenges I faced. And then even my seniors, like there's always a two panel when you stand for the election. So my seniors, they asked me, like, are you ready? Do you think your family will support? Because I think in Nepal, family support is the must. जबसम्म हाम्रो परिवारले सपोर्ट गर्दैन, I don't think you can really go out and work, not only in this sector, but I think every sector, politics, social work, health, whatever sector you choose, but I think you need a family support. So they asked me, are you sure that you want to stand for vice president? Are you sure that you can travel all over the district? Because we had to travel all over the district. And there's no time limit, you can travel daytime, nighttime, and then finance also is, is there, like you have to invest, you have to spend money also in campaigning, and of course, like a lot of other issues, and also they asked me, so I said, I'm ready. I said, whatever you all can do, I can also do. And then I went to different district. It was very, very difficult, because like 10, 15 years back, even like remote districts, you don't have good hotels to stay. Sometimes you have to stay in a homestays also, and sometimes even at the army barrack and all, But I said I will do it, So when I was contesting as a vice president or president and a senior vice president, I would ask all the men that please vote for me. Not because I'm a female, but vote for me because I'm a capable person. Because when you reach that stage, then you forget your gender, that you are equal, You are not like asking vote because please vote for me. म एउटा महिला हो, मलाई vote देऊ भनेर मागिन मैले. म एउटा सक्षम महिला हो. जसरी पुरुषले lead गर्न सक्छ संस्था, How a man can lead, I could also lead. I could also work on all the policies and all, I could also negotiate with the government. I could also work with the national and international organizations and also. Please vote for me because I am a capable person. So I think all the voters were men, So it was. So I really feel that you need a support from men also. So I could make it. So it was not easy, but to compete with men, there are a lot of, I think, challenges.
Thank you, Bhavanji, for that. As a woman, I can totally relate to that because it takes a lot of courage and strength inside a woman to actually realize and recognize her powers and to convey that and convince the audience for that is a next level ball game altogether. Really, Bhavaniji, that's a full level applaud for you on that. Moving on to the same background, a different question on this scale. Could you shed some light on how you have been able to institutionalize gender-responsive strategies and policies according to your personal experiences and by representing females in that board? What level of gender-responsive strategies have you been able to plot out, or how have you been able to contribute to that?
I think I was working with women since 2 decades, So those days, even at the grassroots level, I used to go and then create awareness to women, especially the women's right, the discriminatory laws and all, So after working a few years, I think now women, they understand their rights, what are their rights, what they want, But unless and until what I feel that a woman is financially independent, unless a woman can control over her finance, women can't be empowered, So empowerment means women being financially independent. In my work field also, then we created the Federation of Women Entrepreneurs Association also, because through that, we could reach to all the districts, all the villages, and form a women group, and then try to develop entrepreneurship skill on them. Because when I travel all over, out of 77 districts, I think I've traveled around 72 districts, So I've seen women in even the remote areas. They are very, very smart. They have talent. They are very outspoken also. But only thing is exposure, So I think to give them exposure, to make them to upgrade their skill and all, we really need to work together with the government also. As an institutional head in FNCCI, we also have a committee, women's committee, and also through that committee, we were doing a lot of programs like awareness programs, and of course we work with ILO also, we work with other, IFC also, I think we worked that time, and a lot of other international partners, and we are trying to create awareness. And then especially telling the women, you really need to be independent, financially. So even with the government, especially the industry ministry, the first industrial policy when it was being formulated and all. So I was a vice president in FNCCI. So we really worked, and then we have a whole section for women, promoting women, what system in that policy we drafted and all. So I think even with the government, from the government and from the private sector, they should get together, they should work together to have all these kinds of laws also, policies also, and then awareness programs also, so do it together. So we've been doing that, and it's still been, it's continuing also.
That's very commendable. Moving on to the present scenario now. As you know, there has been a lot of progress, प्रगति त धेरै भएका छन् हाम्रो पोलिसीको लेभलमा हाम्रो यसरी प्रोग्राम गरेर काम अगाडि बढाउनको लागि हाम्रो लैङ्गिक समानताको लागि धेरै कामहरू धेरै सेक्टरमा गरिएका छन् त्यही पनि न्यायगत नतिजा चाहिँ देखिँदैन सो वी हेभ बीन ल्याकिङ इन इक्विटेबल आउटकम्स each year even if there is a lot of talks and a lot of work on policy and strategies and implementation but yet we do not see equitable outcomes for girls and women's that we can actually establish and stand on very compliably in accordance to our policies. So we are lagging behind right there. In Nepal, there is a stark gender disparity in apparent significant, low labor, female participation. There is a lot of gender pay gap, as our past speaker did mention and highlight. We have a 300-year gap in terms of finance between men and women. In Nepal, if we talk, we have almost 257 years of gap for the gender pay, equitable pay. That is a very, very stark difference and significantly very big gap. I would like to highlight that. But now, some evidences that we are getting in terms of research that it could be also because of care work, major barriers of care work, care and support system for a female to thrive forward. So in this background, I would like to ask Pavaniji, yahi sambandhama, do you see a gap in the space of care and support work to enable women to excel in their professional fields?
I think things are improving. If you compare like 15 years back and now, I think women are coming ahead in all the fields, all the sectors and all, and especially like talking about the financial sector. I think most of the women are SMEs, like small, micro business they're running and all. So they have their own kind of gaps and exposures, like policies we discussed, like we, every time, like even every year fiscal budget, even the minister mentioned that only 1% goes for the women development program. So I think there's a gap in the policy also. And then a lot of policies are good, but Nepal is very, very weak on implementing it, not only on women, but I think all the policies, So implementation part is also weak. And about like care service and all, I think private sector do have a lot of care services, especially for women. And like daycare centers and other equitable working space also for women. But I think government, though like they have mentioned in that in the policy, but in practice, it's a little like there is a gap, So I still feel that we need to work together, the private sector, the development agencies and the government, to improve the gap. Many recommendations which we have given to the government also. And of course, ILO is working on that, on especially the labor force and also. FNCCI is also working very closely with ILO, and then not only at the center level, but in provincial level and even at the, local level. And FNCCI has provincial offices in all the 7 provinces. So through that provincial offices also, we work very closely with the private sectors also and the government also, to improve the situation for the women, especially the care services centers and all, and other policies also, So things are improving, but still I think we need to work a lot.
Building on the same question, maybe you could enlighten us, present here today, we are all a mix of the audiences. What would we could do in our parts in order to bridge this gap, of supporting women in social environments, in professional spaces, with our care support work? What could we establish today here for care work service centers, for women especially, in order for them to feel more strengthened, enlightened, and more for their best of works to come out?
I think like we need to change our mindset first of all, because I think what a man can do, a woman can also. So I think women I always feel that women are better managers, because like we manage our home, we manage our family, we manage the social, sector also, and then we manage our career and the work also. So I think if women are included in their team, if women are included in their work, or project, I think it'll be better. The result will be very, very good also. So I think to create the safe working centers or care centers, three sectors should work together, like public-private, government, and of course the partner organization. So if we work together, we could definitely change the present scenario.
Thank you for that. Lastly, on this present current scenario, what in your current investment board position and FNCCI positions have you been able to plot out in terms of gender equality in that workspaces? Is there a policy? Is there a strategy? Is there care and support? And what could you, as a female representative, do more on that board?
I think leading that institution, especially, not only taking centers and all what you mentioned, but I think I've really encouraged women to come forward, because unless and until women come in a decision-making position, the empowerment, when we always talk about empowerment and all, but I think they have to come forward. So the impact what I created being the leader in that institution, lot of women from the district also, they also wanted to, come ahead, Jillaharko chambers, like we have district chambers and all. So people women used to be nominated. And after I became the president, or maybe when I was a vice president and all, they could feel that, oh, women can also be a leader, even in the local chambers and all. So they started coming forward. Instead of being a nominated member, they would fight for the office bearer's position, fight for the president, So I think that is the impact you create, And then, of course, creating a space for them to equitable situation of environment to come and work. It was like it was going on, But I think creating impact to come women as a leader, come as a decision maker was a very important role which I played being in that place. And of course, supporting women entrepreneurs and supporting the women to come out in the workforce and all, like equal payment and all you said. So for that, we were working very closely with the government. And now my role is also in the investment board, it's not, we talk about only, it's not a gender thing, but bringing the investment from international investment, So my role would be more in that. But I'm still with FNCCI. I'm chairing this Indo-Nepal Joint Business Forum, so bilateral issues and all, the gap and the challenges what the private sector face, on treaties and all. So we recommend government and all. And as a past president of the Federation of Women Entrepreneurs Association, my role and then my passion to bring women, more and more women into entrepreneurs sector is still there. So wherever I could support, from the government side or the private sector side, and of course the partner organization, I contribute my ideas and my experience.
Thank you so much on that, Bhavaniji. Moving on to the talk on the future now. The central theme for this year's 2024's International Women's Day is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, which is why we all are sitting here today. Building on these observations and insights, what are the precise form of investments that you believe will advance girls and women's and contribute significantly in their economic progress?
At present, the economic scenario of Nepal is not very exciting. So, of course, especially for women and then young people also, I think the government has to give them more confidence, because they are losing their confidence and then they are leaving Nepal and going. We are hearing, like every day there's so many youngsters, they are leaving and all. But what I feel when I work with the young generation, I feel they have so much of talent, so much of creativity they have, So we have to invest their talent and creativity in Nepal. So I see a lot of opportunities still in Nepal, but we need to grab that opportunity. We have so much of natural resources and all, So we need to, convert those resources into finance, So from FNCCI, like we have a project, startup project also. So we are supporting the youth to start their businesses and all, and then they are working with the private companies also, and of course with the government also. I think this should be our priority, not only for the private sector and the government, but even the organization like UN and USAID, like the partner organization, that how to hold back our youth and then really involve them for Nepal's development and all. We need to review and change the policy for the, business-friendly policies and all, so people can invest. If people invest, there'll be more industry, more working space, and then more involvement of the youth, and of course the SMEs also, So I think it's really high time that government should work on this.
We have a lot of women who hold SMEs and do their own entrepreneurial business work, but they've not become an household name. They're not able to translate the SME businesses into a proper industry. What gap do you see in between the SME and the industrial side for that transformation of a woman to happen?
First of all, we need support from home. It starts. घरबाट support नभएसम्म women नेपाली महिलाहरू चाहिँ कहिले पनि अगाडि बढ्न सक्दैन, So we need a support, a family support, a support from the society and all. And especially talking about SMEs, Nepal, we don't have a SME policy. We've been pushing the government also to have SME policy, So SME, like women face a lot of problem, like access to credit is one of the main problem women face, and exposure also. And then I think now we need to compete with the global market, So we really need to upgrade their skill also. We need to bring new technology and all. But we do have a lot of opportunities, like I was talking about natural resources and all, So women are mostly into handicraft and all these SMEs and all. So we need to upgrade their skill. For that, government also should support the SME, bringing the new technology for upgrading their skill also. And then, of course, the credit, access to credit also. Exposure also, and then the policies, like they do have certain policies, but still, they have allocated some fund for women entrepreneurship also, but the fund should go to the needy people, not, it should not be politicized, So we always tell the government, whoever is the minister and all, it should go to the right channel. It should be channelized through the right organization, right institution, not through the political institutions and all. So if these things are, we could help women in these areas, I think they could do wonders.
Thank you for that, Bhavani ji. हस् त अब आजको हाम्रो यो रिङ द बेल फायर साइड कार्यक्रम चाहिँ यहीँ हामी कन्क्लुड गर्दैछौँ हजुरहरूको अमूल्य समय र हामीलाई सुनिदिनु भएकोमा धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद Thank you so much, Bhavani ji, for your time.